For 400 years, you had your knees on our necks. A garden of evil with no seeds of respect. In America's mirror, all she sees is regret. Instead of letting blood live, they begging for bloodlet. Revenge is a dish that's served on platelets. Transfusion of confusion, abusing our intellect. I can't be bought with a $1,200 check, even though $1,200 can make a meal stretch. Mama wasn't rich, but she earned my respect. She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jumping up and down on police cars, I'm vexed. After Chauvin killed George Floyd, we got next. Molotov cocktails, anarchy on the set. The rich took the loot, so now we loot shit. Feeling like a caged tiger that's whipped to do tricks. That's why I started fires and yelled and threw bricks. They tried to run me over and arrest me and shit. Tase pepper spray and engage with the kid. They ran up in the state house with them AKs quick. But let a nigga try and do that white boy shit. Won't be no rubber bullets ricocheting off ribs. But the white supremacists go in the cop's face and spit. Try to barbecue? Becky calling cops on the kid. Hoping and praying it be some Emmett Till shit. Sandra wasn't bland, they hated Mike cause he brown. Trayvon should have had an Aston Martin riding around. Amadou Diallo, it's way too many to follow. Vato, how much of my pride I gotta swallow? God only knows how deep this plan goes. I was dealing with this shit as a teen in Kango. Harassed by cops, word to my ancestors' souls. And watching that man die slow left a hole. He cried for his mama as the murder unfolded. If it wasn't for them phones, Chauvin would be at home. Feeling justified cause of George skin tone. I'm telling it to those with melanin, you're not alone. The new Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus's are now grown. America's a graveyard full of black men's bones. And I ain't got to tell you that Breonna Taylor got slayed in her own home. Had they lived, Sean could have rocked bells. Eric could have garnered attention. Beyond the t-shirts and obituary mentions. Oscar could have been counting grants. Tamir could have went to Rice. They owed them cops nothing, but all of them paid the price. So yeah, you right. We should protect our Second Amendment rights. Cause in a second, a dirty cop can kick the door in at night. A 2-4-2 fin a life for a life. We refuse to live in hell while you living in paradise. Being black in America is like rolling a paradise. But the stakes are way higher, you gambling with my life. Black Lives Matter.
All right, all right. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday edition of Article Reactions. I have quite a bit for you today because I expected to be alone. So let's get right on into it. I didn't have any announcements or anything, so I'm going straight on into the articles. Let's see what we got here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, checking us out. You can be doing some stuff outside with a mask on because you need your mask. Don't forget that now. Got to have that. But I do thank you for your time. That is precious to me. And you sharing it with me. So thank you so much. I appreciate you dearly. All right. So the first one we're going to go into is talk about chicken. Yeah, I know. They do associate black folk with chicken. I'm not too happy about that stereotype, but in this case, Harold's Chicken is a staple to Chicago. Everybody heard about it, and it has gone to other states and cities, but it's very popular here. And this particular one on 87th and the Dan Ryan is closing permanently because they raised the rent over 40%. Now I understand everything increases every year. Me personally, I have an issue with some of the increases because you get an increase on your job once a year, most jobs, and then they increase your rent. So you turn over and give that increase right over to where you live. Ain't that something? And that is renters. I'm not sure how it works with your property taxes if you just happen some of it anyway. I'm sure you get some of it back. So I want to talk about this because it is interesting. Let me give you a picture of the guy. Well, there's the chicken. Me, myself personally, the chicken always made me sick. And I've tried it several times throughout my life, and it made me sick each time. And I found out that that secret ingredient. You ain't hear. Let me show you the owner of this particular one. That is him. To you. All right, let me make sure I have the right thing, and then I want to check my chat room because I did not look back after I started talking. I multitask kind of good, not that bad, yeah. Greetings, just DeAndre, Don TZ, Emmanuel. Hello there, Mr. Briggs. What the heck is going on in my chat when I turn my head? Hey, Mr. Briggs, I like that. Thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate you. All right, let me get on back to what I was going to read. All right. So this is again, this is Harold's Chicken Shack, and they numbered it because it became a franchise. So they had number one, two, on whatever, and this one was number 55. Okay, and they said this was the best one. So I guess not too many people got sick, but hey, that's just me throwing that on out there. All right, so let me read the story to you. Um, Make sure my screen is on point so you can see the guy. Yes, you do see him. All right. Let me get on to the story. His name is Percy Billings, and he's the owner of Harold's Chicken number 55 in the West Chatham neighborhood of Chicago. This is a picture of him August of last year. Okay, so they went up on his rent. Percy Billings says, the owner of Harold's Chicken number 55, they want me to pay $10,000 plus a percentage and sign a 5-year lease. The rent was $7,000 per month, he said. We tried to work with them, but they didn't give me any notice, so I moved out. All right, so he paid $7,000 a month. Now he's been there since 1992. So he probably 920212. Say his rent probably was about 3,000, no more than $4,000 when he moved in. And it, increased over, the years. So to go up from $7,000 a month percentage is, I've never heard of this. I'm not into business that much, so I don't know. But they wanted a percentage of his gross. I don't know how legal that is and where. I have no idea. I can't explain that at all. So, but they wanted this man a percentage of his gross earnings. So give me $3,000 extra a month in rent. Then I want a percentage. I don't care if it was 0.5%. I don't care what it was. They wanted a percentage of this man's gross. Then they wanted a 5-year lease. He's 78 years old. And they tried to lock him into a 5-year lease. What kind of mess is that? That is utterly and ridiculous. Not just utterly ridiculous, but utterly and ridiculous. But that's what they tried to do to this gentleman. And he's like, no, I'm out. Chance the Rapper, he was upset about it because, this was the spot. This was where everybody hung out. When people go out on the south side, dance, party, all that stuff, they want to go eat afterward. That was one of the spots. Now I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Billings do have a express Harold's, and he's gonna keep that one. And I'll tell you, you know how they have like mini marts at the gas stations? He has a mini mart chicken place at the gas station, and he's going to keep that open. And Mr. Billings had been working, and I'll tell you exactly, I'm going to read his words, what he says. He said, business slowed down some because I was only letting in two customers at a time, and there was no dine in. It is going to be a loss to the black side of the community. But let me see, I lost, where's the other thing I had to read? Wait a minute. I scrolled too much. Hold on, everybody. I'm trying to find that quote he made about how he works. Where is it? Oh, okay, here it is. Okay. He has two food trucks, and they used to go downtown to Northwestern Hospital and Willis Tower. Now, Willis Tower is formerly known as the Sears Tower. People know about that being the tallest building. So he would have food trucks to go out there and sit because they had opened up where food trucks was kind of popular here in Chicago, like I think 4 years ago. Yeah, when Uber and Lyft and all that started getting a little popular, that was another thing for food trucks to become popular. And Northwestern Hospital have lot of black people, but they do have quite a bit of white people. And Willis Tower, same thing. Now, a place that I used to work at, they put a food truck out there. And I thought it was so funny when I used to see different people in line. And when I thought about the taste, because I'm like, I'm surprised they like that for their palate. But then when I thought about the blood, I said, oh, well, there you go. I think that's what it is. And but he was making money with the food trucks, but you no longer can do that because of the pandemic. So he lost business there. So the only thing he's going to do is, like I said, is keep open that express, which is at a Shell's gas station, and it's also in the Chatham neighborhood. So he's going to keep that open. And this is a quote from him. I'm not going to open up another one. He says, I'm at the age where I have to have the energy, and I don't. He's still working through. And he said, I will keep working to keep my business right. I have to be there every day, 7 days a week, and I never take a day off. The only day off I take is once a year, and that's Christmas. Think about that. This man is 78 years old, and he had been working. And I'm assuming all since he had this restaurant, he'd never taken a day off except for Christmas. That is some dedicated work. That's
Wow.
dedication. Greeting. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. It's really sad to hear stories like this. When you're you teach little kids, right? Hard work and dedication pays off and will be rewarded. And, the good guys, they might finish last, but, they finish best. And so whenever you hear a story of, the good guy being treated unfairly and all this hard work and dedication, there's no cumulative payoff, right? It doesn't save you or protect you from others, basically, just overall. It's really unfortunate to hear this, that and the man's so old. That's the unfortunate part. It's not like he's 30. You know what I mean? Like in your 70s,
Yeah.
you don't just
Yeah.
bounce back when you're 70 something.
Yeah. And he put a lot of work in, a lot of energy and everything. And he was able to get it popping. People went there. Um, Chance the Rapper put his blessings on it. It was the spot. It was the spot in Chicago. And even though I didn't frequent it and I wasn't going to, even if I was younger, because like I said, I got sick off their chicken. In my
Right.
20s, I tried, I got sick. In my 30s, I tried, I got sick. That
Mm.
was it. It only take 2 times to make me sick. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it's something going on.
The chicken's not for you.
And exactly. So, um, but bless his heart, I think it's so unfair for that type of
Mm-hmm.
increase. That was over 40%. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not good with percentages. Okay. I just still think it's ridiculous. They want 10, they want a percentage of your gross income. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have a right to that. I don't
Right.
know where they do that. That's why I said I'm not sure about the law. If this is legal, I don't know. I really don't. I would have to research that. But I've yet to hear it. I've yet to
Hmm.
hear about that. So this is my first story here.
I mean, I think they can. I know that here, at least, I mean, you hear all kinds of crazy things. So, like in the area that I live in, when I first moved here, it's like the sleepy little suburb that kind of almost didn't exist on the map. And a lot of I mean, they were kind of like big chains, some of them like Golden Griddle, for example, but they're not like high grossing chains, right? They're just feel good little mom and pop kind of chains and, some smaller restaurants and whatever. And they had like 20 or 40-year leases. And all of those restaurants disappeared all at once. And we found out that the reason why is because the increase in rent went up so dramatically and the requests became so ridiculous. And it's because they want to get rid of you. They don't want to keep you. They don't want to keep that business there, right? They want to open up that spot for someone else. So they basically make the terms so impossible that you have no choice but to leave and to vacate and make room for, I don't know, the McDonald's or the super corporation or the nuclear power plant or whatever it is that they really want to put there that's going to make them the money that they want to make, right? So I mean, you see this in some factors going on everywhere, unfortunately. Greed. Money is the root of all evil, as
Yeah,
they say. Mm-hmm. Oh,
very
boy.
unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about a little bit more greed, shall we? So,
Yes, we
as we
shall.
know, right? As we know, COVID-19 has created a lot of issues between tenants and landlords, right? We discussed this. I mean, it's sad how many news articles come out weekly about this from the beginning, the middle, and now the end of wave one of COVID-19. We still have insanity going on here. So let's talk about how one landlord decided that they wanted to deal with the fact that this mother, who's a little late with her rent because of COVID-19, not because she's a deadbeat, how this landlord decided they wanted to deal with that scenario. All right, let's make sure we can get you guys some sound over
Hmm.
here. Um, what if I do this? Okay, I think this might work. Okay, let me know if you can hear it.
A single parent in Maple Ridge is furious after her landlord removed the windows and doors from her home because she's behind on her rent. CTV's Ben Milger caught up with the landlord to get his side of the story. I'm a woman. I don't really feel safe sleeping with my windows and doors open.
Jamie Hemson hired someone to board up her house after coming home one day to find all the doors and most of the windows missing.
I actually had to borrow that money.
Hemson lives in the house with her 5 and 13-year-old children. It's been a difficult year for this single mother who fled an abusive relationship and then couldn't return to work because of the pandemic. She says the family has fallen behind on rent over.
Okay, and the sound is gone. Yep, no sound. But that that was something. The fact that the windows were removed. Why do you remove the windows? Does that really?
Okay. Sorry, I got it now. Okay, so unfortunately, sorry, I tweaked something and then it automatically mutes me on StreamYards and I didn't realize that. Okay, we got this. Okay, so can you still see the screen? Can we still see the?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll continue playing. Sorry about that, y'all.
Current COVID-19 state of emergency, a renter cannot be evicted for unpaid or late rent and must be allowed to work out a repayment plan for any money owing since March. Under no circumstances is a landlord allowed to remove the windows and doors.
There's nothing in the law that allows that landlord to do so. A landlord cannot destroy a door in order to make a tenant leave a premise. This is absolutely wrong.
Tiger Zhang, the landlord, acknowledges he doesn't know the Residential Tenancy Act very well.
I took off the windows, the door. For me, I think it's wrong. This case, I think is really like a lesson to teach me how to find the right way to fix up this problem.
Both landlord and tenant say they've been in touch with the Residential Tenancy Branch, hoping for a resolution to this dispute.
I'm just waiting to get our story heard and expedited with the tenancy branch, and we'll go from there.
In the meantime, Hempson has been looking for a new place without much luck. Ben Milger, CTV News, Maple Ridge.
Right. So sorry, Char, but as you were saying, I mean, how do you justify this as being fair? I mean, the law, this is the thing that blows my mind. As the news said, legally, the only thing you are allowed to do is make a reasonable payment plan with your tenant, repayment plan to catch up for any money owing between March and present day. So how do they feel justified in making these movements, and how do they keep getting away with it? Like, what's the penalty for them doing this? Because it seems like there's no penalty and they can just while out, do whatever they want, force tenants out. I mean, taking away windows and doors of a single mom with children in the house? I can't even believe it. Mm-mm. No. Clearly, there's not much you can do.
Just crazy.
Right?
I had a story. I didn't want to use it because I wanted to find some more information to tell people, but I'll bring it up next week. But this makes no sense.
Right. No, it doesn't. And the thing that pisses me off about it is this. So, we know, and anyone who's ever had to deal with a really bad tenant knows you have to go through like the landlord tenant boards. It's not like a criminal issue where you can go and get them charged with something unless they literally commit a crime. So it's completely different kind of sect of law in a way. So the issue is in the same way that you can't, just put a tenant into jail for being a bad tenant. You can't put a landlord into jail for just being a bad landlord. So in the case of this, like, this is him being a bad landlord, but I mean, is this him doing something illegal? And if so, technically, yeah, you're moving against the law, but is it illegal to the point where criminal charges could be laid? If so, what would the criminal charges be? And, how do you get that done? And then if you do that, though, I mean, does that benefit you? Because you are their tenant. If they go to prison and they can no longer pass your payments on to, electricity, mortgage, so on and so forth, then aren't you out of a home anyway? Like, one way or the other, it seems like you would lose. So you have no choice but to just put up with the way that they're treating you, and hopefully you can find somewhere else to live, I guess. Like, what a mess.
It is a total mess. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'll go to the next story. That's something, because I'm thinking about the what is that? The fact that she has the domestic violence. That's what I'm thinking about. So sometimes you have to go. You have no choice. Right. Your situation is your situation.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. And this one, Macy's to leave Water Tower Place location. All right, let me tell you the future. Okay, the reason they're saying they want to leave it is because they haven't felt protected in that location. Every time there is some liberation or liberating or any looting, they get hit and they get hit hard. The entire first floor in the water tower building is very expensive. When you walk in, let's see, you get high-end colognes, perfumes, MAC products. Trying to think, the watches and jewelry, I think is right there. So that first floor is just a gold mine. And I mentioned to you all that this past Monday, or well, started about midnight Sunday. Um, People organized and had a good time, and they were looting.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of the place. They got this area right here. So that is the reason why they say they're leaving. But I do know Macy's and all retailers have had some issues financially. People just not shopping in the past 5 years like they used to. So, okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they're using this as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for this place to leave, for Macy's location, I'm going to tell you how bad this is going to be. There are a lot of richer people that's in this area. A lot of the newscasters live there. A lot of the basketball, baseball, everybody has some condominium there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, High-end clients, that's the spot. That is the spot. That is the area. They're going to stay there and they like shopping there and make people go to the Macy's on State Street. They're going to run into more people that are homeless and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to run into more, as they may say, undesirables.
Mm.
And they're going to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
And some people are not going to really shop in Chicago, with that being said. If they come
Mm.
from out of town, they're like, hey, let's go shopping. Okay, let's go Magnificent Mile. Oh, I want to go to Macy's. I want to get that candy, that whatever that candy is. I forgot what it is. Everyone rave about. Oh, I got to go to Macy's. Oh, I just got to go there. Well, they going to go on State Street and they're going to like, what the world? Because you have a lot of students that hang around there, um, homeless people,
Mm.
and they're just not going to like that crowd. It's not going
Right.
to work out too well for them. And some people that travel, they're like, hey, I don't there. Let's go somewhere else this year. I don't want to go to Chicago. So they're going to lose a
Mm.
lot of travelers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of tourists. They're going to lose them. I can tell you that now.
Absolutely.
I see it.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Well, I could tell you from here, we don't really have like some of these stores, right? So Macy's, that's like rich people stores. You don't want to go to a rich people store where you have to walk through undesirables to get into the rich people store. First of all, because you're going to think when you come out, you're just going to get robbed, right? So that's the first thing, but it's a whole experience, right? Like you want to go and have this lovely experience of you walking in and la di da and look at me, I'm shopping and I'm so cool, right? That's what you want to have. So, it's supposed to be a whole. It's like, I guess, Rodeo Drive. It's the experience of being and feeling luxurious while you're having this shopping experience. It's not what you can afford to buy. It's the fact that you got to do the experience. So you're absolutely right. Like location, 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 as they say, right? Location's everything.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is right. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you that now.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. What did they say? This is Negro Damas. I think that's what they called it when black folk are able to predict into the future. Negro Damas. You got this. Yeah, I agree with you. I
Okay.
think you're seeing the future, Shar.
Yes, I got one of them crystal balls too. When it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to being a consumer, I really got that down pat. I understand
Right.
it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, we're women, right? We shop. We know what shopping's about, right? We could
Right.
spend a whole day
You got
window
it.
shopping. Yeah, right. It's it's about the
Not
experience. It's
hard.
not about the thing. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
All right. Right. All right. Well, I got a sad one. Actually, my next two stories are really
Oh,
very sad. Yeah, they're sad stories. Um, so which one's worse? I mean, you know what? I will tell y'all about the story. It's a quick rundown, and I don't know what happened here. This is going to be one of those ones where we're going to need to follow up later to find the motive,
mm,
because this is a very strange story. Let's put it that way. So, as you can see your title, mother of
okay.
5-year-old Cannon Hinnant says he was not killed for riding his bike in neighbor's yard. That sounds weird, right? Of course he wasn't killed for riding in a
Okay.
neighbor's yard, right? Yeah, right? Like, so what happened then? All right then. So the child was shot at
Mm,
point blank range in front of his sisters. His neighbor has been charged with murder. So, like, no one knows really what happened. Early reports claim the boy has been killed for riding into the neighbor's yard. A GoFundMe set up to support the family claimed as much. However, Cannon's mother said this was not the motive. This was not just because my baby was riding a bike, she wrote in a furious post. Don't let this social media and news fool you. This is under investigation. I lost my child. I lost my innocent child, and no one can give me him back, she added. I will burn this country down if it's what it'll take to see this man burn in hell. I'm ready to flip this country upside down. Calling for his arrest, she said her other children had also been threatened. Please ride the roads. Keep your eyes out. My other kids are in danger as threats were made. The scumbag is not far, she wrote. This man will answer to me. That man will see me and my son through my face. The sorry excuses a human being will rot in hell. So she said she watched the whole thing from her window. She claimed Sessoms, that's the guy,
mm.
ran up to Cannon, put the gun near his head, and fired before running back to his house. My first reaction was he's playing with the kids, she said. For a second, I thought, that couldn't happen. People don't run across the street and kill kids. She only realized it was really happening when she saw Cannon's father's reaction. She then locked herself inside and called 911. The motive for the killing has yet to be established. Neighbors claimed Sessoms had dinner with Cannon's dad on Friday and had visited the house earlier on Sunday. What? Okay, so this guy,
Uh,
Sessoms, right, break it down. Sessoms ran across the street, put a gun up to the kid's head at point blank range, killed the kid, and went back home. Now, who's this guy? Is he some random neighbor you don't know? No, the father of this kid who just got murdered, and the guy who murdered him just had dinner the other day. They're chill neighbors. They know each other. So what happened?
the father of the child had dinner with the guy who killed the child.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Right.
that
Right.
is strange.
Like, I can't wrap my mind around, like, I'm thinking about all the factors. None of this makes sense. Some guy leaves his house, walks across the street in broad daylight with all the kids playing everywhere and everyone can see him, takes a gun, puts it point blank at some 5-year-old kid's head, shoots him, and then walks away and just goes back home. The father saw the man approaching, did nothing about it. The mother saw the man approaching, thought, well, he's just there to play with the kids? Now remember, hold on. So she's talking about fire and brimstone and how, she's going to burn down the world, right? That's what she said. This guy's this evil guy. But when he walked across the street, she thought, oh, well, he's coming to play with the kids. But then she turned around and said, oh, and he's been making threats. He's been making so much more threats. So the rest of my kids are all in danger. Wait, what? So he's a guy who has had dinner and is therefore friends with your husband, or I guess the father of your children, or at least that child. So at least friendly terms. But at the same time is constantly threatening your kids, so you're scared for the life of your kids. But when you saw him approaching your children, instead of being scared or apprehensive or defensive, you thought, oh, he's coming to play with the kids. In fact, when he walked away, you still thought he came to play with the kids until you saw the reaction of the father. And then at that point, you didn't run out to your kid to go, oh my God, my kid's... You locked yourself inside. So no one else could get inside.
Right.
Thank you. Right? So none of your other kids could get in. So no one else is safe.
Right.
Locked yourself inside and called 911. Really?
Right.
You have all your kids outside playing.
And you say, I didn't think about it. I didn't really I'm thinking about what she said. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Or lack of, and actually you start telling off on yourself. But yeah, would you follow up on this for me? I'm kind of busy and I won't be able to, but I really would like to know more. Could you put a note in that, please? I really would appreciate it.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I definitely will. Because to me, again, if you have a bunch of children who are all outside and some guy walks up to one of them and shoots them point blank in the head and kills them, and you realize something's wrong as a mother, your first instinct is to protect at least the lives of the other not dead children. And what she did instead was make sure she was safe inside of a house and then called 911. And she's too shady. I need to know what's going on. So there is definitely a pin in this one, and I will let you know when we have an update.
Thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate that. I would really like to know, because I already know it's something shady, and I just would like to know how shady it is. Thank you.
Right. Yes,
Ooh.
yes.
Ooh.
Right?
Goodness. Okay. Well, let me share my next story. Let me see. I think I'll do this one.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure that some people may have heard about this already. R. Kelly's manager charged with making threatening call to theaters showing Surviving R. Kelly. It may not be really any new news, but let me break it down. Let me break it down. This was posted yesterday, August 14th. So let's see what you guys have heard. Okay, in New York, that's when this article was published. R. Kelly manager had been arrested on charges that he threatened a shooting at a Manhattan theater 2 years ago, forcing an evacuation and the cancellation of the screening of a documentary addressing allegations that the singer had sexually abused women and girls. Donald Russell, he's 45, Chicago, was charged with conspiracy with threat physical harm by interstate communication. He was scheduled to appear remotely Friday after the magistrate judge in Manhattan federal court, before a magistrate judge in Manhattan federal court. It was not immediately clear who would represent him in court. The charge comes on the heels of Russell being charged in Brooklyn federal court earlier this week with with harassing a Kelly victim and her mother after the unidentified woman filed a lawsuit against Kelly. Authorities says Russell sent a letter to the woman's lawyer with cropped nude photographs of her and letter now I don't know what he was thinking to do this. I don't know how he thought he was going to get away with it. It makes no sense. But let me read something else to you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, let me pull this one up. Oh, this is just so juicy because there's actually three of them, but everybody's
Oh no.
focusing on this Russell guy. But
Hmm.
I got to read the other one. That was the nice version, I guess.
Oh no.
All right. Um, Federal charges have been filed against three men who allegedly, yeah, right, harassing and threatening R. Kelly accusers. The U.S. Department of Justice referred to the actions of each of men as separate schemes in a statement. According to the criminal complaint filed and reported in Billboard, Michael Williams, 37 years old, went to Florida to light a car on fire to frighten and intimidate one of the victims. The SUV was set ablaze outside of the home where she stayed. Okay, so you burn the car. Okay,
Hmm.
how did they find out? That's what I want to point out. The cell phone site records, surveillance footage, toll records, and photographs
Hmm.
of the fool and internet searches for the victim address revealed that Williams had driven from Georgia to Florida residence. Before embarking on the trip, Williams searched for information about detonation properties of fertilizer and diesel fuel, witness intimidation, and witness tampering, and the countries that do not have extradition
Extradition.
with the United States. So I guess he's saying, I'm gonna do the crime, but I want to see about the time.
Oh wow. Just,
He
just.
used his stuff. I mean, he didn't even have the mindset to say, I'm gonna go to a library, I'm gonna use a friend, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go off the grid and do this research and do my damage. But no.
Right.
So that was one of them. Oh, there's more. Okay, there's more because I want the Russell, the one that I first read about 45. I definitely want to get to him, but we're gonna talk about Richard Arline. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's gonna be Arline tonight. Richard Arline Jr. He's 31. Okay, so he's
Oh boy.
younger.
Hmm.
He's being accused of bribing a victim with $500,000 to try to prevent her from cooperating with prosecutors as well as intentionally providing her with misleading information to influence her actions. He was heard on a wiretap saying that if I had to walk away from Robert Kelly being next to him, because he was next with, was he next to him? Yeah. If I had to walk, I'm sorry, if I had a way to talk to Rob, to Mark Kelly, being next to him and telling him what's going on without nobody listening to, no feds, he gonna pay her off, be quiet. So that's what he was heard saying on the wiretap. Then he's gonna say she got too much money. So he thought the $500,000 was actually too much to bribe her,
Oh, of course.
but he was
Yeah.
part of it. But he was part of it now.
Oh my
Now to
gosh.
my man Russell. It's the oldest one out the group. Donald Russell, 45, a self-described manager. Oh Lord, self-described. I've got a lot of that stuff going on YouTube. Anyway, a self-described manager, advisor, and friend of Kelly, according to the complaints, reportedly threatened to distribute sexually explicit photographs of a woman who sued Kelly for alleged abuse. He also reportedly threatened to reveal intimate details of her sexual history with the public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember when Eve was threatened by this guy that said, "I got some pictures. If you don't pay me so much, I'll release them." And Eve said, "Go ahead." And I stood up and applauded. I just had to applaud. I'm like, "That's right. Do not negotiate with terrorists. If you took the pictures and you did it, stand in your disrespect. I'm not paying you nothing. Go ahead and show it. Now what? I posed for it. Oh well, it's out there now." And she kept on walking, and that Negro got nothing. He got not one penny, and I just loved it. But anyway, let me finish reading this. He is being charged with using mail, telephone, and the internet to harass and intimidate Jane Doe, an alleged victim in the Kelly case, and her mother. So he didn't just harass the one who harassed too. Um, what's the other part? Because I want to read what he did. I read it somewhere. Where is it? Please let it be in this story. Please don't tell me it's another. Oh shoot! I don't see it. Where did
Hold on,
I?
darling. You're boring a bit.
No.
Char.
Uh-oh. I'm working. Uh-oh.
Yes,
Testing,
ma'am.
testing. 1, 2, 3.
I thought it was me, but then someone else in the chat said
Am I
it. So
still
it's like,
working?
oh, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. It's better though. It's understandable.
Okay.
Oh, see, that was perfect.
That's good. If you can understand me.
Yes.
Okay. If you can understand, I'm happy. Okay. All right. Um, there's another part I read, and I don't know where. Maybe that was it. I just got excited. Yeah, maybe that was it. Okay. But anyway, no, it can't be it. Nope. Sorry, it's more. I gotta go back to the other page. That's
Of
all.
course. Mm-hmm.
Let me see, because I know there was more. Now that I think about it. Okay. All right. Where are you? Where are you? I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
please let me find it because it was hilarious. At least I found it hilarious. And if I don't find, I'm about to ad lib it. I'm just gonna tell you what the nut did.
What is it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Um, where is it? Okay. Now the documentary, whatever you want to call it, was in New York. That much I do remember.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy called and threatened the theater and said, if you play it, I'm gonna shoot up the place. So we already know that is a crime in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So they got him for that. Now, what phone he used, I don't know. But of course, they were able to trace the nut that he actually called. And so they closed down the theater because it was a threat. And I'm like, this man is crazy. You think, ring, 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 hello? Yeah, Char Willie, I don't want you to do that show because you do that show, girl. I'm gonna do something. Oh no! He said he gonna do something. Oh no! I'm gonna report it, and they're gonna come
Right.
get you. They're gonna take care of
Right.
you. So that's what. So this guy is being charged with so many different things because he's a nut. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's no way of handling anything. This is a theater. Why can't they show it? If you
Mm-hmm.
go to the source, hello, what is it? Um, Columbia Pictures. Yeah, okay. You recorded this, and this is, you're using my client's image. You have no right, something like that. Anything, but you don't go to the actual theater and threaten the people that's going to actually show it.
Right.
But that's
Like.
what people do. They go, they go around. They don't go to the source.
Mm-hmm. You know what? This reminds me of like a bunch of kids that never grew up, so they're, grown ass children. And so
Right.
it's like when you don't want to do a test at school, you just call it a fake bomb threat or something, and you figure what's the worst they're going to give you? Detention, right? Like if they catch you, but they probably can't catch you anyway, right? Police resources won't be used on this. Like this is not high school test, man. This is like a multi-million-dollar problem you just created for this company. They're coming for you. It's going to be a big charge. It's gonna be like grand larceny or something crazy, because that was a lot of money they lost because it's a premiere, and things are pre-booked and so on and so forth. That's a lot of money they just lost. They're not just gonna be like, well, those darn kids, and just leave it at that. Like, that's not how it's gonna work. I don't know why they thought that's how it was gonna work, but that was never gonna be the thing. Like, why? What's wrong with people?
Silly. Crazy. And then some other things, but that was ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. And to think that you actually would get away with that. That's the way you intimidate someone. You would be better off not doing anything, because that's almost to me that's like saying, okay, he's guilty, so let's try to get less people to say it. I mean, you have to let this play out in court. That's just the bottom line. So
Right.
yeah.
And like, how many times did you think you could successfully do this? Like you thought you just did it once, the other theaters will go, well, those guys had such a hard time, let's not pick it up and never do it. I don't want that trouble too. I don't know if the threats are real or not, but no, I better not play it. Like, you thought that this one time was going to stop it? You thought that you were going to call 100,000 theaters? Just keep doing it over and over and over again and successfully block it? Like, that's crazy. This was this was not a well thought out plan. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think you were really accomplishing? Okay, you stopped one showing. And then what? Like, you thought that was going to be the end? It was dead in the water. No more surviving R. Kelly. TV won't pick it up. Netflix won't pick it up. The internet won't pick it up. YouTube. No one's going to pick it up. That's it. Because you successfully called in your one threat. Like, really?
That just, it made no sense, because if you clear out the theater, everything is fine on Monday. Okay, we're going to resume on Friday.
Right.
Well, you thinking the person's going to close the whole building down? Come on. It just made no sense. It's going to close up. Well, we might as well go out of business. Yeah, we're not going to play this.
Right.
This guy, he huffed and puffed and on the phone, and he told us a thing or two.
Right. We might as well go to business now. I love that answer.
It's a nut.
Oh my God. Just hiring rocket scientists. Like, right? Like, seriously,
Yeah.
like, fools leading fools, right? The blind leading, or what is it? The blind leading the blind, right? It just,
Yeah. That's what happened.
oh, brother.
Frick,
Literally.
Frack, and Freddie. Yeah.
I understand. You don't want that truth out there, but you also know how this stuff works. Like a big boy, you go through the court of law, and if you lose, you'll lose. It's going to suck. I understand. It's going to be embarrassing. I understand that too, but it is what it is. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Or you go to jail for literally no good reason, and everything goes on just like it was gonna anyway. So it's oh God.
Oh, well.
I'm so embarrassed for them. Okay, well.
Okay.
So my next story.
All right.
I think a lot of people know that, with back to school time and COVID-19 and whatnot, a lot of parents are opting to keep their children home and doing it via Zoom. Well, this particular teacher, and student for that matter, went through a really, really terrible first day of Zoom school.
Ah.
Yes, now let's see this one. Okay, got this going. Oh, see, so
Nothing.
and that's actually not even what I meant to share. So I am going to share a different one. Hold on. See, this is why you shouldn't have more than one tab open with the same thing. Now I ruined the surprise. I know. Here we go. It's actually this one. Okay.
We're getting better, though. We're getting better.
We are getting better, right? I feel like we're going really smoothly. You know, we got some audio visuals. It's not taking like an hour to do one. We're good. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to play the news article of what happened. So let me just get my audio going here.
Okay.
Here we go. It was all loaded up. I swear to God, like it was good.
Oh yeah.
Oh
they
yeah,
do
they
that.
do that.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I think my next one's gonna like
something
that.
like that.
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. So I will tell you a little bit of the story while I try to make this ridiculous thing work. Maybe we can. I'm gonna try refreshing the page here. I don't know what happened. But anyway, in the meantime, so there's a little girl, and her mom. She's home. Oh, see, look, now it's working. Huh? See, yeah, no. As soon as I was going to try to do something else. We are getting better, though. I thought on my feet, switched it up. We're ready to go. Okay, let's go.
Of gunning down his ex-girlfriend in front of her children.
Yeah, and tonight we're learning one of the victim's kids was actually attending school online at the exact moment of the shooting. CBS 12's Al Peffley joins us now from Stewart with more on exactly what happened this morning. Al?
Sheriff's investigators say the victim's children were in the house at the time of the murder. Now their mother is gone and her ex-boyfriend is behind bars.
She was a very friendly, loving, kind person. That's sad to see that situation happen.
Sheriff detectives say 32-year-old Maribel Rosado Morales was at home on Southeast 173rd Avenue in Indiantown about 8 this morning when her ex-boyfriend, 27-year-old Donald Williams, showed up.
There was some type of argument. He went in and confronted her with something to do with a video.
The sheriff says shortly after that, Williams started shooting.
He says she actually started to smile at him, and he became enraged and shot her.
Rosado Morales was shot repeatedly in front of her 4 horrified children and 2 cousins who live across the street. Her 10-year-old daughter, a student at Warfield Elementary in Indiantown, was online with her teacher and classmates when the shots were fired. One of the bullets struck her computer.
The teacher's statement is that she heard a commotion, she knew it was some kind of confrontation, muted it, and then watched the 10-year-old put her hands up to her ears.
After that, the screen went blank. Detectives say Williams fled the shooting scene on a bicycle and then boarded a bus to Stewart. But the bus driver got suspicious and called 911. The SWAT team responded and arrested Williams. The victim, Maribel Rosado Morales, was airlifted to Lawnwood Medical Center in Fort Pierce, but did not survive.
I think it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible that someone be found dead like this. A shooting, especially in Indiantown, it's usually quiet here.
Neighbors say the whole thing is tragic and senseless.
I think it's sad, especially the neighborhood. I knew the woman. She was a very nice girl, you know, gave my kids clothes and stuff like that.
The sheriff says DCF will determine who will care for Rosado Morales' 4 children. He also tells CBS 12 News that Williams has given a full confession and will soon be charged with first-degree murder. In Stewart, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
Drags into its 5th month since the shutdown. It threatens our physical well.
Right? Like, let's... Let me fix up this audio for you guys. Sorry about that. But just you went to school, right? Like, you think about this. So you're just a student, la-di-da, okay. Oh, first day of Zoom school. You got your other, your siblings around you, your cousins there and whatever. And buddy walks into your house. Camera's on and everything. And there's the kids watching. He doesn't even care. He just guns her down and leaves. Everything's cool. It's fine. Yep, didn't care about witnesses or not, didn't care if it was being videotaped or not, did not care. This was an ex-boyfriend. So now, I mean, I'm going to be real.
Ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, ex. Okay. He was an ex. So it could be, was it a jealousy thing? Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be real. And, she's got like the tattoos. Anyone who's got tattoos on their neck and their face, I feel like they're gang affiliated. I might be wrong. I understand, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a really rough thing to do normally. So I feel it could be over something else. It could be over some type of drug thing, some type of debt thing, some type of theft thing. We don't really know. I feel like it's not too much of a possessiveness thing, because he came over in the middle of the day, at this, like, it's like, what time does school start? 9 a.m. So he came over at 9 a.m. and killed her, and didn't care to hurt her kids or to possess her kids. You know what I mean? There wasn't, he came in, he said something. Now, this is the thing. So we're not sure exactly what it was. He said something, and she was smirking at him. And that's when he opened fire. So it might not have been his intention initially to kill her. Maybe it was to threaten her while her kids were there, force her into something, and she might comply because her kids were there. I think maybe that's what he was thinking. And, but obviously that didn't work out. And, the smirk part of it is what everyone was talking about, I noticed. It's like almost like the "you're such a loser" kind of smirk, like, I got you. Yeah, and that infuriated him, and then he opened fire. So what was she smirking over? What was the demand? Why was he there at 9 a.m.? Those are still questions to be answered, but yeah, first day of Zoom school. Didn't go so well.
Also, always wonder why people don't. Okay, my speaker is weird. Okay. I always still wonder why people do things and they do not think about the consequences.
Right.
Whatever it is, where you owe the person some money, you can't pay it back if they're dead. If they disrespected you, you're going to go to jail. Last thing you did, you killed them. Your freedom is taken away. So why do you do things where you're not able to, go on with your life? I mean, how are you really vindicated if you're locked up
forever? Yeah.
Your life has changed for the action that you've done. So I'm confused with that. I don't understand that. I wish someone would explain it.
You know what? And here's the thing. It's a very, okay, so, and I can kind of relate to this a little bit just on the ego respect kind of level, because that was really what my anger management issues were around a lot, right? It was this concept of, respect and, feeling disrespected or feeling embarrassed or shamed and not being able to live with the idea that everyone out there is laughing at you. So it's almost like in that brief moment, the other types of consequences don't matter, because the other consequence that you're looking at, the one where now people will not have respect for you for the rest of your life, basically, will be laughing at you for the rest of your life, will be able to play you for the rest of your life, you'll be a clown for the rest of your life. That is more important than any other consequence, right?
But that's oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I know you're good. Like, it's ridiculous, right? It's so ridiculous, but in that moment, you can't get past it. It takes actually a lot of work, and at first it haunts you. The first time you walk away, the first time you don't, rise to the challenge or whatever, and you walk away, it hurts. And I don't mean it doesn't hurt for a moment. It doesn't hurt and then you sleep it off. It hurts for months, and it haunts you.
Wow.
And it's all you can think about. Yeah, it's a really big deal. And even though no one's showing you that they're laughing at you, you feel like they secretly are. You feel like now no one has any respect for you. You feel like now people feel like they can take advantage of you, right? Because you showed how weak you were by walking away. It's really crazy what you can get caught up in. And I wasn't in selling drugs or, anything like that. But imagine if, you not getting screwed over was so deeply related to respect. And, that type of thing in the street where people don't look at you like you're a clown. That's why people aren't coming and raiding your house with, posse of guys. That's why people, will back down as far as challenges or whatever, right? It's all a respect ego thing. So I kind of get it on that side. But on the other side, I don't commit crimes that involve jail time. So, even for an ego thing, I wasn't willing to go to jail. That's just what it is, right? I could think that far ahead.
And this is, and that's what I'm touching on. I understand the emotions there and everything and the feelings, but there's a certain time. I mean, there's consequences to everything. So you learn, you get hurt at 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old. Now the consequences are changing because you are an adult. But once you get past that, especially 25, how have you not managed to deal with those emotions? And I'm not saying this is for all, of course not, to that extreme where the reaction will change your whole life and take away from it. I'm not, it'll be good to ask these people because I don't think they do enough follow up. And even if they were to follow up, this information needs to be out there. I did like when they had that show. I think it was called Locked Up or something other. Some show they had, they actually showed and talked to some people. And all those 20 somethings that I saw, they were like, man, if I had to do it again, I wish I didn't do that. And that's good that these people got a chance to, they had no choice but to sit down and think about it. But go ahead, sit down and think about these things. You hear it, you know what the consequences are. Try to use that anger, try to release it in a different way. But
Right.
I'm just sad about it. I'm just sad about it. And the older you are, I definitely not getting why you react that way because there are consequences. Somewhere you saw consequences. Television, radio, social media, your parents, your cousins, somebody. You saw some consequences. So, well, maybe you didn't care enough, and if that's the case, okay, fine. There's a lot of mental illness and things going on, and as well as drug-induced, things. So it's very sad, and that's what I can say for that. I'm gonna leave
Just
that
add.
there.
Well, I would just add one more thing really quickly, because yesterday we were talking about this guy, right, and the anger management and attitude problem issues, and it kind of sparked something when I heard about the smirk, right? And see, this is part of the issue, right? Just because you're like, well, I think it would be unreasonable for him to kill me for acting this way, for disrespecting him, for basically spitting on his face, for emasculating him, for bruising his ego constantly, for, twisting around my little finger and then disrespecting him. See, the problem is, right? And again, this is not to say that it's okay for him to react this way, right? But we've also got to look from the other side and recognize, Shari said, there's a lot of not just mental health issues, but there's a lot of insecurity issues, a lot of people who've gone through a lot of trauma in life in general, a lot of people who are being pushed to the edge in 700,000 different ways. They're getting disrespected at work. They're getting disrespected from society. They're getting disrespected over here from the benefits they're trying to claim being a vet. They're being disrespected, whatever, and then they come home and they get disrespected by you, and then and everyone has a breaking point, right? And you never know where someone is, right? And I'm just gonna say, right, like you don't have to intentionally, I'm not saying the way he reacted is okay. What I'm saying though is you don't have to be disrespectful and emasculating to somebody and it intentionally inflammatory. And then, when they freak out, because normally it's not quite this extreme, but when they freak out, they're in the wrong. But it's like, is it okay for you to keep pushing that button? Is it okay for you to keep daring somebody? Come on. Guys, people are under a lot of stress these days. Let's stop pushing buttons.
Yeah, sick. It just is too much. I'm done with that one. I just can't anymore.
I know. I told you, man. I told you my next two are sad. I said it. They
Yeah,
both suck. I know.
yeah. Well, my next one here, is sad, I guess, as well. It is, yeah. Let me go ahead and pull it up, get it going.
What's wrong with us today, Shar?
I got two more. But it's all right to to discuss this, to let people know what's going on, and throw a couple ideas out. We keep this stream shorter, but we still get a chance to mention some things. So it's
True.
all good.
True.
All righty. Do. Ba-da-bum-bum-ba-da. My last one after this one will be not sad.
Yes, and on a good note. All right.
All right. All right. 3 arrested after Louisiana Chili's hostess said she was attacked over COVID guidelines. Yeah, we already know where this is going. Has to do with the darn mask. Let me read it.
Of course.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Police arrested 3 people accused of beating a Chili's hostess over the weekend after she asked them to abide by the restaurant's COVID-19 safety rules. Tammy, I think that's the one on the left, 48 years old. Rodnika, she's not in here, she's 27. And Erica, the one on the right, that's look like they kin each other, same last name, 46 years old, have been charged in assault against the young lady. And I will now scroll down so you can see the young lady. And when I say young lady, I mean just that. The young lady is 17 years old. So you have a 17-year-old hostess that greets the people that come in. She said, "Hi, welcome to Chili's. How many to be seated?" 6. Well, okay, no problem. Well, you have to have the mask. What? Boom, boom, boom. Fight. That's the response. What kind of mess is that from these older women? What
She's a
kind of
baby.
mess is that? This young lady is 17 years old, probably a
Wow.
senior in high school or maybe just graduated. But let me keep reading it. Yeah. This happened August 9th. It was a large group of females. They arrived at the Chili Bar and Grill, 4550 Constitution Avenue, if you know where that is, requesting to dine in at the same table. Only 6 people are allowed to sit at each table after being told about the restrictions. The employee was then physically assaulted by multiple females in the group, according to the Baton Rouge Police Department. A GoFundMe account was set up by Wallace and her family. After that, she needed stitches to close a wound over her eye and suffered a broken fingernails and a significant amount of hair loss in the attack. Her family says Kelsey is an honor student and a licensed emergency medical responder who was saving money to attend medical school, but is now too traumatized to go back to work. An outpouring of support for the 17-year-old has generated more than 4 times the fundraiser's $1,000 goal. Those women at their age were attacking their child or their grandchild. You can't tell me when they looked out there at this young lady, they didn't see that. 17 years old. You can tell she's a very young girl, and they attacked her. So this is what I like to know when they have an interview, trying to find a job after they do their time. Oh, well, I see that you wrote down here that you're a convicted felon. What is your felony? If this is, because I don't think you can actually do that, but just ride with me, people. Ride with me. Okay, so I may have a job for you, but because we do have felons, what was your what happened? Well, what happened was I had went to Chili's because me and my girls, we were hungry, girl, and and we liked that place there. And we went in, and we know about that COVID-19, but see what happened was we didn't appreciate that we had to be separated and wear masks. So because of that, I said, you can't tell me what to do. So I went off and I hit her. Okay, ma'am. You know what? We may have some work for you, but it's not around people. Yeah. So we're going to give you something. We're going to give you a call. You have to be embarrassed. You can't tell me you're not embarrassed. Your family will know this. Your kids, your grandkids. What type of example are you to people when you don't conduct yourself as an adult? This is the issue that I keep asking myself. I keep questioning. Why do people act like animals? Hey, I haven't been to Chili's in over 20 some years. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I turn on the news, when I turn on the television, when I turn on YouTube, radio, every advertisement, if you go to the store, if you stand on a, public transportation bus stop, there are signs talking about wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere. They will not let you into certain places without a mask. So why was it so significant to attack the hostess? You can't
Right.
get in. You just standing right there. They're not even letting you in. So you smell the aroma of the food and it just made you go off and go crazy. And all of you, a whole group of you, all have the same
Mm-hmm.
response. But see, that's because people follow other people. You can't tell
Mm-hmm.
me all they all had the same mindset. Yeah, let's jump her. Yeah. There's there had to be some people. Well, I don't really. Well, I'm going ahead because they suggested we do this together. We hang in there together, and all of that. I know that's part of this, but this is so sad. This is utterly ridiculous. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We got something for that. At least we do in Illinois. And let me share my screen on that. We
Ooh,
got
okay.
something for you. We
Okay.
got something for you. You want to get upset, you want to harass people and beat them up and all that. We got something for you in Illinois. We got something for that butt. We
Ooh,
got it.
okay.
We got
Mm-hmm.
it for you. We got it for you. Let
Let me
me
see.
share the screen here. Let me see here. All right. I think this was announced yeah, August 10th. So this was announced last week. Assaulting a worker who's enforcing masks is now a felony under new Illinois law.
Nice. Nice.
So you want
Finally.
to do that in Illinois? Oh, we got something for you. We
Mm-hmm.
got something for you. And that's why I was saying the word felony because I knew about this in Illinois. Now, what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing in Louisiana and any other place, I don't know. But we got something for you in Illinois. They stopped this real quick. They like, well, hey, we can use that prison labor. So, hey, we got something
Mm-hmm.
for you. Let's just put this on the books. You see how fast they did this? They still trying to figure out a stimulus package, but they enforced this real quick, didn't they? Ha ha.
Oh yeah, of course, right? Because this is not them giving anything. This is just them taking more. They're great at taking, you know. And the
Yeah, they
thing
still got
is,
something for ya.
remember, Shar, these are old people. By the time you get to old people, one thing you know is a true fact: birds of a feather flock together. Okay, so
Yes.
I actually do believe, yeah, they all, because listen, you knew you didn't have the mask. You knew who had a mask and who didn't have a mask, right? And so the one who went, girl, they can't tell me what to do. And if they try to make it an issue, then I'm a da 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 da, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you already knew she was going to act up, right? And you already decided that you had her back if she needed to act up or whatever, because they shouldn't be able to tell no grown woman da 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 da. So these people with their nasty attitudes already decided to make a pledge together. This is what they're going to do. And this is just, I'm mocking a particular type of attitude just based on, the way that the women look, because they look like they got that standing attitude. Who you going to tell me what to do? But you see white people have done it, you know what I mean? With the different looks. So a bunch of different people are, now demanding their right to not wear a mask. And you can't tell them what to do because they're grown people, right? And so I agree totally fully with this felony thing, because the problem is that these are a bunch of entitled, spoiled, selfish people, right? And they've been acting this way their whole lives. And if they make enough noise and they make enough fuss, then they get what they want, which is why they do it. And so that's why this woman was so infuriated. Well, you won't just let me sneak by? What, you're not going to just let me in anyway? Girl, but we all black. But good and I'm sure she went through all kinds of stuff. And when it was really not going to happen, she really wasn't going to get to be special and be the exception the way she had planned. Woo, she lost it. She just saw red. And they all just saw red because she saw red. Because as you said, it's this stupidity and groupthink mentality that, whatever, it's so infuriating, because you got this little girl. Now, that little girl forever is going to be afraid of black women. She's a black woman. She can be afraid of black women. When older black women approach her now, instead of seeing, oh, look, maybe someone who could guide me in a way or teach me something new, or, just smile at me and make me feel special, tell me she's just going to see people who she should be scared of. Right? Because she's not sure. What if she's never going to want to work a hostess job again, but she's never going to want to be in the position of having to tell anybody anything ever again. Because that's how, you think about what you would feel like with grown people coming for you and attacking you for saying something simple. I'm sorry, no admit. It's like no shirt, no shoes, no service, right? You try to walk into a restaurant with no shirt and no shoes, they're going to say, sorry, no service. You don't expect someone to then beat the hell out of you for it. It's the same thing right now. No mask, no service. It's not new. I understood a little bit when it was brand new, because you just, come on, man, this mask thing. Okay, I don't have a mask, but it's been so many months that everyone has a mask or they've got a scarf. All you gotta do is cover your face. It doesn't matter what you're really covering it with. It's not like you have to buy some $1,000 expensive thing so you can't afford one. Like, no, I'm sorry. People are going too much on this. Even if you don't believe you need a mask, too bad. It's the law. You want to circumvent the law, you can go and do that on your own time, but not on other people's property. And if they tell you got to put a mask on, like the law says, because they're not going to lose their job and their livelihood over you wanting to feel like you're the exception and the rules of life and laws don't apply to you, well then, this is ridiculous. Sorry, I wouldn't lose my business over you and your feelings. Would you?
Right. Children and husband or boyfriend or whoever you're by yourself, children, we're not going to be able to pay our rent or mortgage this month. Yeah, I know, mommy, sorry. I know, I hear your stomach growling, but see, this group of women, they came in and they didn't want to separate. They didn't want to wear a mask. So I said, okay. And I let them come in, and my business was fined, and I lost my business. And I even got to go to court and pay some stuff. I don't know how I'm going to pay because, my business gone. But you know what? We're going to growl together.
Right. Right, baby.
That is just the silliest thing. And for these, and the young girl, the 17-year-old young lady, you can't tell me she doesn't look at older women differently now. You can't tell me, because that's the image of her mother or grandmother. Mm-hmm. That's what she sees. And it's like, whoa, and she's
Right.
doing the right thing. She's just following the rules. And who needs to be attacked on their job?
Right.
You know, it's just ridiculous. I,
I've been there.
sometimes I want to follow up. Sometimes I want to follow up. I want to, as they say, they fly on the wall just to
Hmm.
hear what they have to say. I think what was, I don't know if I'll do it now, but I'm going to go one day when they're doing some booking and I'm just going to hang around the police station just to hear what they say. Well, I don't care. I did anyway. I don't care. I'm just going to see what the attitudes are. I would
Hmm.
like to hear.
No, that's the thing. And most people are that selfish, self-centered. They don't care. But I've been there. I've been actually, I was younger than that. I was 15, and I had a gang of older than me women, who are older than me. They're bigger than me. They're taller than me. Beat the hell out of me. Actually, wonderfully, my mom was standing there on the sidewalk because basically the church orchestrated this for her. And told her it was for my own good. It was not for my own good. It was not helpful for me. And if anything, yeah, this is why I'm saying it taught me to fear. It taught me
Yeah.
to automatically see now, instead of seeing women who were basically like, oh, everyone's an auntie, everyone's a grandma, everyone's something. I saw everyone as, I mean, I might have to call you auntie or something, or pretend that we're family like that, but I'm always going to think that there's something evil inside you that wants to hurt me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Oh,
it
yeah.
really, hmm?
I say, oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And it's something that creates a division between us as people, both as our peers, to our elders, to the younger generation. It creates a division when we should look at each other and see closeness and comfort and family, and instead we see enemy. Like these women, it's so much bigger than the masks for me. This story, it's so much bigger than COVID-19. It's so much bigger than the masks. I feel like they deserve the felony. Yeah, sure, because of COVID and whatever, but in this case, I'm glad that they're getting slapped because of what they've done to basically the sisterhood that doesn't exist, that I wish could just exist sometimes, honestly. Like,
Okay. Wow.
yeah, I know. I just got in trouble for that. All right. Sorry, Black YouTube. All right, moving on.
You have another story for us?
I do not.
Okay, and this is my last one. So we're still on time, and I was running my mouth a little bit more than usual. All right.
Nice, nice. You got it.
This one, you know, um, this guy had to search for a great place on YouTube. There are some nice places, and he
Mhm.
found one. Now, he learned how to cook from YouTube.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
he was when it's just too cute. It's common for people to search videos when they need to learn a new skill. One entrepreneur wanted to learn how to be more helpful around the kitchen. So he took the step further and opened up a restaurant. They call him Tay. It's Octavius Nelson. And he grew up in South Carolina where he watched his dad cook regularly, but it wasn't until his wife was pregnant with their first child he decided to start teaching himself to cook. And he was doing it by tutorials on YouTube. Um, let's see, his wife had gone to Atlanta for a baby shower, and he had the whole day to himself. So he decided he wanted to surprise his wife with a great meal when she returned. So he dove into YouTube and started watching all kind of barbecue videos, because that's his thing. And he came across Aaron Franklin, and he said that really resonated with him because he loved ribs. So he went on, and his wife. Let me see. Oh, he kept reading and kept looking for videos. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning. His wife rolled over and say, "Honey, you on your phone looking at videos? You need to stop. Go to bed." But he couldn't help himself. He just kept going, kept going. So he ended up opening Bobby's Barbecue, and it's a tribute to his love of food. Let me see. Now, even though with the COVID-19, his establishment has become a blessing for him and his community. He has now 60 jobs that he able to offer to his community because of his barbecue establishment. He's only open on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So it's just a passion for him because he loves barbecue. And it's a balanced life for him because he's able to have the work life and the home life. And he's also, because he has employees, he's a blessing to them. So he's a blessing to not only them, also to his family. And it all started because of his passion to learn how to cook. And now he has a restaurant. So I
That
love
is
that.
cool.
That is beautiful.
That
That
is
is
really
beautiful.
cool. Like,
Is
hey,
it?
y'all think YouTube ain't worth nothing. You see, you can take what you learn on YouTube and use it to enrich, fulfill, and expand your life. Like, he didn't know how to cook. He didn't go to chef school and do a bunch of crazy stuff. He came to YouTube and found other people, maybe they have those culinary arts teachings and whatnot, and he learned and perfected his skills and came up with the restaurant. You know, that, I mean, you think about it, he must be really good, right? And he
Yes.
must be doing really, really well that he can employ 60
60.
people. That's a lot of
Yes.
people to employ, Shar. And
Okay.
and you're employing 60 people for a 3-day period. That is a lot of people. That must mean he is crazy busy those 3 days. That is incredible. That is amazing. And people act like being able to do something like, for example, opening a business within your community, employing others within your community, enriching others within your community is such an impossible ask, such an impossible task. Well, first you need tens of thousands of dollars of some type of training, right? And then you're going to need this and that. You're going to need, look what he did, right? Off YouTube training. Come on. Right? like that is really cool. Like, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I could cook. Right? Like, this is
Yeah, so I love that story. I said I'm going to end on a high note, regardless of what we come up with. So there you go.
I love it. I love it. You know why? I love it because, and you can ask anyone who knows me. Every once in a while, I'll talk about opening a restaurant. I will, because I want to, in a way, right? I love feeding people. I love cooking. Everything I cook is an event. Okay. I can't be a normal person who just cooks a little bit of chicken with a little bit of plain veggies on the side, a little bit of rice. Here you go. You don't starve. I can't be that person. I try, Shar. I set out every time to cook a normal meal. Okay, with me and my sore back and whatever. By the time I'm done, it is like a 5-course elegant feast. Okay, everything is super extra special for no good reason. For like a Tuesday night, right? Like, that's the way I cook, and I love cooking. So then I'll think about it, like, man, I put so much effort into this, and it doesn't matter. I always make like enough for 17 people, even though I'm only feeding 2 of us. So, I always think to myself, well, if I could do that, I could probably quadruple that batch and make that for a day, right? I should open a restaurant. But that goes to show you, right? I mean, I'm lazy. That's why I'm lazy. I have no follow through. I say it. It sounds like a good idea. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, that's a lot of work. You got to do business, or I don't know. It just seems impossible. And, he's proving it's not impossible. It's probably not half as hard as I think it is in my head. But, I put that glass ceiling above me. I put myself in the glass box that keeps me from thinking I can do things like that. He just proved. He went from having 0 culinary skills to owning a restaurant. So that goes to show you that if you have a dream and you have a passion, right, you can make that successful, right? Take your passion and devote yourself, your time and your energy into it, and you can make it work for you. You don't have to do one of these pyramid scheme businesses or, Avon, Mary Kay in order to work your own hours, apparently, because, hey, he has a restaurant for 3 days a week and he can employ 60 people. Come on. Y'all, we could do it. Like, this is like so inspiring. I would like to meet him. If you're watching by some miraculous thing, email me, right? Classic Ruby, Ruby at classicruby.com. Thank you. And tell me what it is that, I don't know, you got something, you got that thing, you know? I want to know where your thing comes from, your je ne sais quoi that just ignited the spark. You're cool, man. You're cool. I'm inspired. That's it. I'm starting a restaurant. We'll see how that goes.
All right. And with that, we're done, folks. And thank you so much for joining the show. We appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm hoping that you guys tune in Wednesday. We have the Keep the Beat segment.
Yes.
And let me see if I can quickly put it in here. Yes, I can. Good deal.
Woohoo.
I just have to copy and paste. Copy and paste. That's all we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's Wednesdays. I'll put this here. Keep the Beat segment Wednesdays on CRBJ, which is Classic R&B Jams. Myself and Ruby at 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out. I'll put the link in the chat room.
Yes.
And until next week, peace.
Oh, one more thing, really quick. Okay, y'all, for those of y'all, like, I haven't seen IXDB in like 10 years. So what's up, bro? So you might not know this, other people might not know this, but just so you know, even though, our radio show is once a week, once you miss it, you miss it. But we do have replays. And so you can actually catch the replay of all of our previous shows. I think we've had, 6 now? 6 episodes? Yeah. So, we'll definitely post that inside of the chat as well. So that way you can go on to Char's Mixcloud.
Yeah.
Did I say it right? Yeah?
Yep, Mixcloud.
Yeah. Awesome. You can go into Char's Mixcloud and you can check out all of our previous shows, get yourself all caught up so you're ready for Wednesday. And trust me, I know you're going to be so hyped up after you hear the first one. You're going to be like, oh my God, Wednesday's not coming soon enough. So I will see y'all there.
All right. Peace.
All right. Cheers, y'all.